Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue to learn a little bit more of this amazing language a day. Yesterday, we talked about 拉屎放屁, common human practice involves with pooping and farting, and how farting in Chinese, 放屁, kind of means bullshitting in Chinese. And today we're going to continue with 拉. Yesterday I mentioned 推 and 拉. If you see the door sign, push or pull, that's the Chinese corresponding characters we use. One is 推, one is 拉, and one is push, one is pull. Okay, and then we have 营销 is marketing together, but separately they mean different things. 推拉营销 are the push and pull marketing together. Okay, now come to 推. 推 with the left hand symbol, 5-finger left hand symbol. I mean, not necessarily left hand, but hand symbol. You can see both of them have this. Yesterday we talked about 拉 actually means applying labor, muscles to this. So it's like a manual work. And 推 in today's expression, on the right side is actually a bird sign. Contemporary kind of is abstract, but when we see the original form, it does give us a visual clue of this is a bird with a beak, the head of the bird, the feathers, right, and the little feet in the air. So it's the bird in flight. And here together means applying forces, applying your hand, but it's like a bird. It's going to go forward. So bird in flight, unless it's a hummingbird that can go any direction, but a bird in flight normally goes forward. So forward going forces. So that's push. Okay. And the 拉 actually originally doesn't necessarily mean backward applying forces, not like that. It just means applying forces. But we have to pair it with something. So 拉 becomes like, okay, if 推 is forward going, this is backward going. Okay, 营销. Okay, 营 looks like this. 2 fire symbols on top. And then this is a space. And inside the space, this is a baby in a bundle. Okay, that's all the visual meanings here. Normally, if you see 2 fires, that doesn't mean, okay, this space is burning on fire or wildfire like in California occurring every summer, hopefully not this summer that much. But it means some light source twinkling further away. So this is kind of visually you see a place kind of like you go hiking at night, you go on top of the mountain and you look down at the city and you see the city lights, flowing. But in the back then, there are no city lights, right? There's no electricity. So if you see kind of light sparkling from places, it not necessarily means wildfire again, but it means somebody cooking is a light source or heat source. So somebody living in there cooking, and there is this space, there are babies involved. So picture this ancient traveler traveling, going from town to town or wilderness, and eventually arrive this place on top of the mountain and see, okay, there are little heat source or light source in that space further away lay out from you, and there are people, not necessarily babies, but definitely next generation as well. So a group of people, so it's almost like a town. Okay, so that's the originally visual depiction of kind of like a village and a town. And eventually when this is going to happen, there are people living in there, next generation living in that space. It becomes like construction, because it's, I guess, the ancient idea of civil and not civil engineering, but city planning. So it's not exactly a city in our concept, right? It's at least a village planning so that they can defend themselves and things are placed in the most appropriate location. So people have their living quarters and they may have a town square somewhere, something like that. So it's a spatial planning. And that eventually becomes like a construct, like you have to plan out your space and build it out. That becomes this character's meaning. And then xiao looks like this. It has the left side. It's a simplified version of this. This means gold in its original form. Okay, so we have this horizontal line, and then there is some bottom of there, and that means soil or ground. So this is underground, and these two symbols means gold nuggets buried underground. And this is like a little shed to cover that. So you want to hide your wealth back then. And well, as far as I know, like people back then, they don't have banks, right? Or kind of like our today's more like a digital currency or whatever. They don't have all that easy, convenient storage of wealth. So people do back then would be finding a place, hide away their wealth, bury it somewhere. And so that's kind of signify that behavior, that gold storage method underground covered, right? That means gold or wealth. Okay, so this is, in this context, means money back then. It's some sort of currency or wealth. And then on the right side, it's a sound maker, xiao, and this means small on the top, and the bottom is kind of it looks like this, got abstracted into this rectangular form, but originally it's written like a little bit curved, like omega, Greek omega sign, right? With this means meat. So I don't know, like small meat. What does that mean? This character by itself, even if it's a sound maker, it means a similar. So we often pair it with xiaoxiang, that means portrait. So you want to depict your visual presentation, put it in a 2D form. So you try to have the 2D form mimicking your 3D shape, right? So that's xiaoxiang. We use that together. And so xiao means mimicking a similarity. So if you have a gold and then you have a similarity, means kind of a transaction, right? You transact in this currency form something similar value, right? So it's a kind of exchange. You're going to give your money, or like a bartering from thing to thing, but value-wise, they have to be similar for that transaction to happen. So eventually this character xiao becomes selling, the act of selling. So you have constructed selling. I don't know who translates this expression, means marketing in the West. In contemporary, the whole marketing is a big branch to try to get people know about, recognize a product, get interested and attracted, and have the urge to have to buy it. So all that, mechanism captured by marketing, but in Chinese, somebody translated as 营销. Now we kind of separate out each symbol, how that come to be. It makes sense, right? It's constructed selling behavior. So it almost like a build your space in this marketplace, or representation of your product spatially, or architected, right? So you plan it out ahead of time before you even sell. You try to position yourself in a certain way, and then the sale comes after. So that's the kind of marketing we translate into 营销. So we have push and pull. That's the two directional forces applied on consumers try to buy, sell you their stuff. 推拉营销, without 推拉, just 营销 means marketing. And now you know this is push and pull, two commonly succinct way to say two basic ways of marketing. And I use this snowy sled drawn by a camel. So that's the kind of pull, right? Forces applying by this. And if a push will be somebody behind this slide to push it. So here I only show you the pull, the concept of pull in Chinese, like 拉雪橇. Oftentimes 雪橇, snow sled. That's a Chinese saying. We often use 拉, so a force applied in front of it, pull it, and then push will be something applied, the force applied it from the back is push. Okay. Cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.